Welcome back to another upholstery video. Here's what we're working on today. Some dining chairs, 8 of them to be exact. Video magic. Listen, I know it's not perfect, but I'm 38, born in the 80s. We were doing Mavis Beacon for most of my computer training with a little bit of Oregon Trail. So don't expect too much video editing. We're starting with the first dining room chair here. I pick one. These are all the same, so I just pick one. And I start making my patterns off of that. I know what you're thinking. Maybe you should use some scrap fabric. And you're probably right, but I didn't. And I usually don't. So just checking everything, getting everything right. I'll trim these up. I start kind of with a general size, and then I cut it down to make it fit. Little velvet tutorial there. Velvet's got a nap, and it looks different from different angles. Pretty cool, unless you have to use it to reupholster something. Then it's pretty maddening. You can see there that if it was sewn in the wrong direction, it would be a different color. So it's kind of like matching a pattern. It's all got to be in the same direction. Now I'm just cutting the rest of it. Slow and steady. There's 8 chairs. So I used the first pattern that I made. I pinned it up, make sure I like it, make sure everything's going to fit, and then I just cut 8 more. You can see the chair in the background there. I consider that like my prototype, and once I know that it's good to go, I start cutting the rest of them. And here we go. All the patterns are cut for the most part, I'm pretty sure. Always best to count. There's going to be 8 seats, 8 backrests. The backrest on these chairs have a hole in the middle, which is harder than if it didn't have a hole, if that makes sense. Yeah, missed a couple pieces. Now you're going to see here at the end, there's not a lot of fabric left after I'm done cutting all the patterns. And that's on purpose. A lot of fabric nowadays is $100, $150 a yard. And, well, we got to use it sparingly. Sewing this up now, the seats on these are weird as they curve up in the front of the seat, and then it's sewn all the way along the edge, the outside edge, and then it curves around the leg in the back, or the backrest, I should say. Then it curves back down the seat. So there's a number of turns in here, and if you think, oh my goodness, how does he know how to sew all this? Well, like I said, I did a prototype, and the prototype doesn't always go well. So I'm pretty sure I sewed the prototype up 4 times till I got it right. You just do a little bit, check it. Sometimes I'll pin it, then check it before I sew. But a lot of times I'll sew it up, make sure it works, Most of the time, I can get it right on the first go. This one was a bit of a battle, as you can see. In this inside corner, there's a turn, then another turn, and then yet another turn to go down the back side of that cushion. And yeah, my finger gets close to the needle, but I have only sewn it a couple of times, and once you've done that, um, you kind of know where the needle is because it really hurts when it goes through your finger. There you go, inside corner, down the back. Nice. There's 8 of these. All 8 I have to make sure I lay out so that the velvet nap that we talked about earlier is in the right direction. So the left side and the right side are in different colors. 8 chairs and with a sewn seat and a fully sewn backrest with a hole, as I mentioned. There's a substantial amount of sewing. So these chairs actually come out to be quite expensive to reupholster, but the client the client really liked these chairs. They're still super comfortable. Nothing wrong with them. The original fabric was like a pleather or a vinyl, and it had gotten flaked up and it was kind of gummy. I don't know how that would happen, but sometimes the cleaning products will react with that fake vinyl on there and it gets kind of gummy. They don't stay nice forever, unfortunately. All right, now it's production time. I got all 8 seats and backrests sewn up, ready to go. Now I take the chairs and do the same process for all 8. Dacron, get it all buttoned up, trimmed up, looking good. And you can see I'm stapling right on what looks like the finished wood. What's in there is actually called a trench. And that trench is where all the staples go, and it gets finished out with weld cord in the end, which you'll see here shortly. Really nice when reupholstering, really awful when stripping the old fabric off. Getting it all trimmed up. Do the seat first, cutting some reliefs. It's to keep that fabric from puckering on those inside corners. I know. Pucker doesn't seem like the right word, but it is. Checking to make sure both sides are the same height. Nothing bugs me more than when I see something reupholstered and it's not straight. I really like when both sides are the same height. If it's off just a little bit, I feel like I can spot it. It bugs me. Now we got that hole, like I said before. You can see the hole cut in there through the dacron. What I got to do is turn this backrest, which is fully sewn. I got to turn it inside out, make sure all the seams are laying in the right direction, and do what's called the old inside out trick here. You just slowly put it on there, It's slow and tedious, but you got to be careful. You got to make sure everything's sewn right, otherwise you'll either pull seams out or it'll be too loose and there's no way to tighten it up. This one's got to be pretty much right on the money. And there. The reason I got talked into these YouTube videos, these little kids think it's pretty easy to be super wealthy, make a living making YouTube videos. My 6 subscribers would disagree. We got metal tack strip here. These basically poke through the fabric like that. You put it in there, pointy part out, and then you flip it over and you hammer it into the frame of the chair. It's a nice seamless edge. This is more of a US or more of a modern style technique. I believe most of the upholsterers in the UK are still hand stitching this, which is fine. Like I said, there's that trench. This is how we finish it out. Welt cord, hot glue, which not my favorite technique. Truly, hot glue feels like an arts and crafts kind of thing, and I don't really care to use it on upholstery if I don't have to. Again, I think in the UK I've seen people sew this on, which I'm not sure how it holds up. Maybe it holds up just fine. If I ever get back to the UK, maybe I'll spend my whole time reaching out to upholsterers as opposed to sightseeing. Don't tell my wife. That piece of metal I'm carrying around is a regulator, just helping to tuck in all that stuff. This is how I finish these ends out. A little hot glue on there. Squish that fabric over. And then I kind of clip the wings off here. And you get kind of a nice finished end. Is it necessary? I probably not, but I don't want that to fray at any point, so I like to kind of tuck that fabric in and get it out of the way. There's that regulator again. Just scoot it along there, get rid of any extra hot glue, any loose thread. And that's it. There, all 8. Nice, comfy dining room chairs with a backrest hole for ventilation. Nice. Make sure to like, subscribe. Again, I'm trying to get to 10 subscribers. I'm at 6 now. So, all right, see ya.